Every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is a vibrant community built on innovation, academic excellence, and a 64-year legacy of shaping community leaders. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, inviting you to visit the mountain and experience firsthand the passion, purpose, and personalized education that defines our school. Come see how our mission and vision come to life each day. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
National headlines and the local stories you care about. WLBB, Carrollton, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
And good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I am your host, Josh Engel. This morning, Sammy Robinson, president of Haralson County Veterans Association, and Don Levans, past commander of Post 143 and past president of the Carroll County Vets Memorial Park, joins us here on the Community Voice. This morning's episode, as we honor Veterans Day, is being live streamed on our WLBB News Talk 1330 Facebook page, as well as on the Graddick Communications YouTube. So if you have any questions or comments for our guests, please feel free to hop in the chat, and I'd be happy to read those out to our guests. Veterans Day is observed every year on November 11th. To honor all men and women who have served in the United States Armed Forces. The date holds deep historical significance, marking the anniversary of the armistice that ended the fighting in World War I on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. The guns fell silent on the Western Front, bringing an end to one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. Originally known as Armistice Day, the holiday was renamed Veterans Day in 1954 to recognize and honor American veterans of all wars. Today, it stands as a moment for the nation to reflect on the courage, sacrifice, and unwavering service of those who have defended freedom in times of conflict, in times of peace, and in every corner of the world. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you both for joining us on the program. If we could, for folks who may have, been foolish enough to have not tuned into an episode with you gents before, I would love if you could to tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about your service. And we'll start with the prettiest guy in the room. We'll start with Don Levans on my left here.
Yeah, I've already lost that contest.
Yeah.
I am the oldest.
Well, there you go.
Maybe the prettiest. I'm not sure.
The toughest, for sure.
Okay, I guess I got to start. I was born and raised in Carroll County.
The beginning.
But when the Korean War started, it wasn't a war, by the way. It was called something else.
Like a conflict or something?
Conflict or something like that. They didn't call it a war until way after we had 50,000 men killed over there. They refused to call it a war, but they finally did. But it started in June of 1950, and in September of that same year, me and three buddies out there at West Georgia decided we was going to be one of the boys. We had followed the people in World War II until we were 12 years old. That's how we were when the World War II.
About to say your big brothers, your dads, people like that.
I mean, my heroes. But honestly, back then, you went in service for the real reasons for going in service. There's none of this, whatever it is going on now about questioning what to do. So I joined the United States Air Force then and spent 4 years. No big deal, but 19 years old, you wind up security on Dwight David Eisenhower's airplane. By the time I was 22, I had learned a little something by then and got some security training and all that sort of stuff. But then I spent 37 years with Sears Roebuck and Company. I was the first department to move into the Sears Tower, and the first to move out when we sold the tower back then. So I was part of a very large organization where I learned an awful lot. But many things that was important in my life was learning that Dwight David Eisenhower put his britches on just like I did. That he was a super great person. He knew how to handle people, and I watched him handle people. And that was a thing that I believe gave me a leg up in competing with other veterans at Sears Roebuck.
Sure.
Because most of the people that ran Sears Roebuck were former veterans, including the guy who actually turned Sears Roebuck into a monster, Robert E. Wood, who was a one-star general in World War I. And when I moved to Chicago, by the way, we'll get off track probably, but my first office was on the same floor that his office was on as a CEO emeritus.
Whoa.
For Sears Roebuck and Company. So
That's
I
incredible.
was around and close to a lot of people that was putting their britches on the same way I did.
And you learned something from all of them.
Oh, yes, sir. The spinoff was amazing.
Well, we already got a comment in. Ashley Adamson Halsey. Don Levans is a class act. Thank you both for your service. Shout
I'll
out to
send
Ashley.
you your money later.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, we'll throw it over to Sammy Robinson, a veteran of the Vietnam War. Sammy, if you could, tell folks at home a bit about yourself and a bit about your service.
Well, as you know, my name is Sammy Robinson. I was born and raised in Tallapoosa. Never left the county or the city until I was drafted right out of high school. 2 weeks out of high school. Came back off a class trip, and there was our draft notice. Most all of our boys back then, you were drafted, and you knew exactly where you were going. Sooner or later, most of them would wind up in Vietnam. And it was a war that we was told that we were going to defend the Republic of South Vietnam from the slaughter of the communist nation of the North Vietnamese. And we found out later that the Chinese and Russia fought that war. Most people don't know that, but they did. Wayne Waddell in Tallapoosa, there's a plane there that's dedicated to him. He was shot down in 1967 while I was there and held right at 6 years in a POW camp. He was shot down by by the Chinese, and was captured by the Chinese. And if you know the story, he was given the choice to either go to China or go to Hanoi to become a prisoner, and he went to Hanoi. So a lot of people don't know exactly what happened there. Wow. While I was there, I went on a mission to get the Marines out of Quezon. They'd been surrounded for 77 days. And on that mission, I did not know that a classmate of mine who was my best friend, was my best man in my wedding. I got married before I went over there. And about 3 weeks after that mission was over, I got a letter from home that he had been killed. His name is Barry Lee. So when I got back, I noticed that there wasn't anything in our county or anywhere else to recognize our veterans. So I began a mission at that point to make sure that our veterans were recognized and that the monuments were built to see that they never was forgotten. And that grabbed me and my wife, and we've been involved in that ever since.
I mean, a fitting and dutiful tribute of your life to these men who died far too young, and that continues to take shape. The museum that you're working on there, I mean, it's we've had a program a few months back to talk about that, and you know, between that our Veterans Memorial Park, we're blessed at being a community that if not perfectly understand how to appreciate and show tribute to their to our veterans. I think that through programs like this, they learn more each day. I did want to touch on, before that first break, Sammy, you just had a veterans motorcycle ride, and Dawn, the veterans ceremony at the park this past Saturday. I wanted to check with you both and get some feedback on how that went. Let's start with Sammy with the motorcycle ride.
It was a great ride. This was the 21st year that we've had this. The money is used to keep up our parks there in town. The weather was great. The ride was great. The people enjoyed it, and we just look forward to continuing to do this. And we're just thankful for the people that supported us and have supported us over the years with events like that. Now, this year it was dedicated to 2 motorcycle riders that have been with us and rode every ride that we've had. Donnie Ballou is a Vietnam veteran. He was killed by a drunk driver several months ago on a motorcycle. And, of course, Bigfoot, David Powell out of Buchanan, owns a trucking company there. He passed away several months ago. And these guys have supported us from day one, and we missed them. So the ride was dedicated to these 2 gentlemen.
Beautiful. Well, I'm so glad that ended up being a success. Don, the veterans, the ceremony this past Saturday at the Veterans Memorial Park, the live stream was tremendous. If you could, tell us how it went.
Went great. The Memorial Park started on the germ of an idea, just like everything starts. There was a bunch of boys at Southwire sitting around coffee, and one of them said, I'm going to give him some credit, says, why don't we have a Veterans Memorial Park like Tallapoosa?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
I paid him to say that.
Yeah.
I'm going to send him a letter.
A lot of money changing hands.
Yes, there is.
Ashley.
His name was Donald Allen, and he was pretty much the kingpin of running an ad and letting people, veterans in Carroll County, know that this was starting, and that got going fast, and because the support of the other veterans organizations who became a part of the association, the Memorial Park Association, the Sons of the Revolutions, the Sons and Daughters of the Confederacy, American Legion, Post 143, AMVETS 99, Officers Association, and a couple others, all combining along with the community. We have this wonderful park. We have 32 walls now, 1,536 plaques on the wall. We dedicated wall 32 Saturday. And we had one family on the wall that had 9 plaques. We haven't ever had that before, a plaque here, a plaque there, from a family here, a family there. But we had a member of that family, Command Sergeant Major, was our speaker. He was fabulous. He dedicated the wall as well as honoring his family, who had a long history of defending our nation. He was the last one to serve in the way over 100 years of service that those folks had toward our country. And it was a really, really blessed time to be sitting there at the park. And the park is a marvelous place to be. Mm. And Sammy is a great reason for that.
Inspiration, for sure.
Well, not only did we get the idea from there because of him, he's done all the work on it.
There you go.
His company has placed every plaque, every sandblast. Now, we have a lady who's a member of the Revolutionary Group, Sandra Verling, who is our architectural director. She puts every sprout, every brick, every sandblast in its place. Everything in the place is balanced. It has a feeling when you walk into it of that. You don't realize it, but you're in the center of whatever you're standing is the center of the park. And it's because of the perfection of the park. Sammy put it there, but he don't put nothing nowhere till Sandra says okay.
Team effort.
It has to be on spot with
yes,
her.
Sir. Well, we did get before we take that first commercial break. We got a comment from our sister station, Kiss 102.7. Thank you for your service. My generation has it easy because of brave individuals like you. Shout out to Jessica K. We're going to go and take that first commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversations with Don Levans and Sammy Robinson as we honor today, November 11th, Veterans Day. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Do the math. At Oak Mountain Academy, our average graduating class has just 12 students. We celebrate a 100% graduation rate with more than $10.5 million in college scholarships offered. Plus, 96% of our students are accepted into their top choice college. Do the math. Can you see the value of an OMA education? I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, and I'm here to help you do the math. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
Happy Veterans Day. Today's November 11th. I'm your host, Josh Engel. We got Don Levans and Sammy Robinson on the program today. Thank you to everyone who've already jumped in the chat and hit us with some questions on the Facebook live stream on our WLBB News Talk 1330 Facebook page. We also got the live stream going on at Greater Communications YouTube. You can check that out. But you want to be sure to share, spread the word as I get to talk to two very great men. They have learned a lot from great men in their life, and we learn a lot from them. So thank you so much for joining us today. So we covered a lot in that first segment. Got to speak a bit about the West Georgia Military Museum and of course Leglow Park. So let's get into some more high concept stuff here. So Sammy, you served in Vietnam. Don, you served during the Korean War. What are some similarities? I know that you touched earlier, Sammy, on the impact of the communist Chinese. People don't realize that in many ways it was a proxy war with the Chinese and the Soviet Union. And I imagine, from what I understand, there's pretty similar situations with Korea. Could we speak a bit to that? And let's start with Sammy.
Well, now, Korea was first.
No, Korea was first. Let's start with Korea. There we go.
See, I mean, if I don't watch you, you just get...
You get the horse before the cart.
There
That's what
you go.
you're saying.
Yeah. Well, you got to clean up the poop.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. So lay it on us. Yeah, maybe you could speak a bit to the similarities between these conflicts. And
okay, it was all Cold War. It was all going on because of Russia. We were fighting in Russia. We had pits dug in our house so we could run into them in case they dropped an atomic bomb on us. You don't have that now. You don't live through that. We lived through war back then. Now, to the communists, General MacArthur had just come out of winning World War II, and he was running this here war, Korea. That's when I joined. Mm-hmm. Truman was president. MacArthur was running it, and we were fighting with World War II leaders, World War II drill sergeants, World War II jeeps, and World War II M1 rifles. It was an extension of World War II. And we weren't fighting the North Koreans. We were fighting the Chinese. They were dressed up in Korean uniforms, but paid for and managed and run by Chinese. It got to a point where then they were sending Chinese soldiers in. I'm going to be very generalizing here. Anyway, it came a point where General MacArthur, who was a very smart general, had a lot of credit for winning the Pacific Theater War, decided that we just go on and whoop the Chinese. And he was preparing for that and seeking support to do it. And so Truman didn't like that, or it was whatever, the politics got involved. Truman fires MacArthur. I was in General Eisenhower's operation over there at the time, and we were tremendously upset that that dang politician had flown over there and fired our general.
Now, see, this is probably going to be a unifying theme between our two conversations, are politicians who get us into no-win wars, setting us up for something by not necessarily no-win at the offset, but here you are, you have a seasoned leader like MacArthur, but he's out due to politics.
You express the most moving part of a veteran's situation. You say, how can you honor those people that were killed during the Civil War? They were against slavery. They were doing what they were told. Politicians start wars. Veterans finish wars. So that's where that was. But anyway, he fires him. Westmoreland replaces him. He was also a World War II general. But he got all balled up with something about germ warfare. I don't remember exactly what it was. And so he was replaced by Truman. That's what was going on at the high levels. And guess where he wound up? He replaced Eisenhower when he came back to run for president, and then I had him on my airplane.
Wow.
So here's Westmoreland. That's why. I mean, I was in sort of, if you will, on the fringe of all that kind of stuff going on.
My goodness.
But listen, you say, what war are you in? I mean, Korea. Well, you know what was going on when Korea was we were occupying Japan and Germany at that same time.
Berlin was still in ruins. I mean, this is just happened.
Berlin, the airlift had been many years prior, but all of that was still going on. That's this Cold War. It was all Russian. And so you say, well, where were you? Well, I was over there fighting really the Russians, yet here was Korea. So by veterans carry this war thing, but listen, they were involved in many places during this time, and it's been that way. It wasn't a Cold War. The Cold War was full of hot spots. Korea, then Vietnam, and then all the Gulf Wars. All because of politicians, world situations. We take an oath that we will follow the commands of the president and those officers appointed above us.
Absolutely.
Lots of us wind up in a grave, and we, veterans today, are trying our dangest to honor all of those. The strength of the Veterans Memorial Park is we honor all veterans from the Revolution to the present day. And regardless of what war they were in, or what the politics were, or what was being taught, and especially now what ain't being taught.
And on that, we're going to throw it over to Sammy Robinson. Same question. Beautifully set up, Don. Thank you. Sammy, do you hear similarities here? I mean,
it is. You politicians, and I could speak on this all day. I've researched this Vietnam War for 30 years. And when I went there, I was lied to. And all the other veterans were lied to. We believe what the federal government told us. And we were shown films. You're going to defend these people who cannot defend themselves against the communist that is there. They're murdering and slaughtering these people, and they were. But this would not have happened had the United States government not thrown Ho Chi Minh away when he came and asked in World War II for our help to save his country. And we would not do that.
He loved America. He
did. And so we had advisors there in 1954 when the French, was defeated by General Galp. And the first person was killed was in 1956. He was an advisor, and his son was killed then in 1966 in Vietnam. So this is all, we found out right quick this was political once we got there, that what they told us was not the truth, and that's not what we were abiding by. You could have won that war if you really wanted to in 6 weeks. You didn't want to win it. Here's people running around in short pants with a pair of slippers made out of car tires, sleeping in underground. And here we are with jet aircrafts, B-52 bombers, all the weaponry you could think of, all the food that you wanted, although some people went for days in the jungle with no food and water because we couldn't get it to them. You could have won that war, but we didn't want to. The war was started by politicians who got our business people who got politicians elected, and they had to be paid back. And this is what happened. Johnson's wife owned 3/4 of the stock in Bell Huey Helicopter Company.
I think that says a lot right there.
Tells you. It goes and goes. We didn't want to win it. And then here comes Nixon, who I'll support him. He ended that war, brought our troops home, but he also left a message for North Vietnam. You ever cross that border, I will annihilate you. When he got here, they framed him, threw him out of office, gave Ford and Biden the keys to that war, and they turned around and cut off all supplies to South Vietnam. They had no supplies when the North Vietnamese crossed the border in 75. They took a few cities when they crossed the border, and they waited a few days to see what the United States was going to do. United States did nothing. Ford was scared to death, wouldn't do a thing. They took every soldier they could find from North Vietnam and headed them south because we wasn't going to do anything. We wasn't going to bomb the North at that point. They marched all the way to Saigon, killed 30,000 people on the way, and left them laying on the side of the road. Men, women, and kids. We have the photographs of it. They marched right into Saigon, took it over, done away since then with all monuments that represent the Republic of South Vietnam, and anybody that worked for the government or the Republic of South Vietnam was either killed or put in prison for 13 to 15 years. Now, that's a fact. And we stood back and did nothing. We haven't won a war since World War II. You didn't win Korea. You didn't win Vietnam. You ran from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iraq. And it's all because of the crooked politicians that we have in this country on both sides.
A lot more money to be made during war than
that's all it's about. The politicians in your government cares nothing for the veterans. And if it wasn't for the veterans to make sure that their legacy lives on, it would be forgotten.
And we're down to the last minute. I'm locked in. We could have just kept going.
Give me all day.
But I think that this right here really helps establish for the listeners the kind of things which haunt and trouble veterans, the positions that were put into, the lack of support at the highest level. And this is why it's all the more important. We do programs like this. We have ceremonies at the Veterans Memorial Park. We support the West Georgia Military Museum. We support Leglow Park. Don Levans, Sammy Robinson, thank you both for joining us on the program today.
Hey, support this museum.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot of support for both our memorial parks, but we need support to get that museum finished.
This is West Georgia Military Museum. Has nothing to do with Haralson County. It's Pope County, Haralson County, Paulding County, Carroll County. Every bit of that is involved.
Go look at it. It is something else to see. It's not finished, long ways.
We hope to dedicate it July the 4th of 2026. We hope it's finished. It may not be. We like about $300,000, so if you got some money, throw it to us.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you both so much. Support West Georgia Military Museum, and we'll see you next time.